Hello, my name is Todd, if we haven't met yet. Today I'd like to talk to you about dealing with dogs. For the most part, dogs are going to be fine. They bark a lot. Out of the nearly 11 years that I've been working as a home health nurse, I've only been bitten 3 times. And of the 3 times, I knew that they were aggressive dogs. I'll tell you about the last incident I had, and it's been several years ago. Um, This patient was bedbound, and nearly every single time, the caregiver would be there, and they would put the dogs up, and they were two dachshunds. And this particular day, the caregiver wasn't there. I was down on the visits, and I really needed to see the patient. And so I knew that it was going to be a risk. And he says, well, you know, do your best. The door's open, and I put my bag down on between me and the dachshund, and well, the dachshund got around my legs, and he nipped at my ankles. I didn't have any broken skin or anything from the incident, but there was another time where there was another dog. He was a bigger dog, and he was known to bite people, but he was away. And when I went to go visit the home, he was there, and I thought, well, if I'd push my luck. It was not the right thing to do, and I would not recommend this, but I tried to force the visit, and he, came up to me. He wasn't barking or anything, but I had my bag in front of him, and he just jumped up, nipped me on the leg, and I just froze. Didn't know what to do, and I think that he was expecting me to run, and because I was just frozen there, out of shock that he nipped me on the leg, that it kind of unnerved him, and he backed away, and I slowly backed away. And then another incident was, with chihuahuas. Then, of course, they're always aggressive when you first come, and then they're always aggressive when you leave. And so I was trying to keep the eye on the little chihuahua, and always try to keep, don't let them get behind you, because they'll come around and nip at your ankles. And that's what he did. I got distracted as I was leaving, and he just came around quietly, and he grabbed hold of my pant leg. Fortunately, that wasn't an issue. But anyway, dealing with aggressive dogs, best case scenario, and the office is real supportive with this, is letting the patient know that the dog needs to be put up before you arrive. And when you get to the house, before you get out of the car, you can call the patient and make arrangements that the dog is, to be put up. Um, as I've done this for many years, it's really difficult being too aggressive against people's pets, because it's almost like they're children, and they become very offensive sometimes when you're very abrasive towards their animals. And so, in order to build a rapport with the patients and stuff, I'm very patient with the dogs. Most of the time, they'll bark when you first come, but if you just ignore them, a lot of times they'll just come over, sniff you, and if you just ignore them, they just go lay down, and they're fine. They've checked you out, they realize that you're not an issue, and they go lay down. And that happens most of the time. Um, let's see. What I do is I just try not to have eye contact with them, because that tends to show aggression and dominance over the dog. And so I just ignore them, don't look at them, but I do make sure that they're not going to do a little surprise attack behind you. Um, Also, especially with the smaller ones, is I'm very calm with the patient. I move very slow, especially when I'm moving towards the patient, to give their vital signs, um, and just see how the dog's going to react. Sometimes it's an issue when the dog is sitting in the patient's lap, and then you need to do something, and then that's where you just kind of coordinate with the patient and say, is your dog going to bite me or not? But just having a very calm voice and just moving very slow and not doing anything too fast. If you're outside and a dog is, kind of running towards you, I always make sure I put something between me and the dog. And usually my nursing bag is always with me, and so I have that. I kind of turn sideways so that you're not appearing to the dog as quite a threat. And if I can, and it's coming towards me, then I'll just slowly move back, and always have my keys in my hand so that I can make a quick retreat back into the car. Um, Also, the tail of the dog really tells a story about the dog. So if the tail is lowered or even tucked behind his legs, a lot of times that will indicate that the dog is more afraid and not really being not really being wanting to be aggressive. That's the word I'm trying to get out of my mouth. If the tail is up and it's wagging pretty easy and fast, or it's straight behind him, um, more likely the dog is going to be friendly. And of course, if the tail is straight up and it's wagging or twitching kind of stiffly, but sticking straight up, and the dog is very intense and looking and might be growling, or may not even be growling at all, but really has some intention. Maybe the fur is standing up on its back and it's coming with intention. Then that's a sign that I need to vacate the premises and get to a safe spot for sure. Um, Taking a look here at my notes. If a bite does occur, it's never, I haven't done this before because they weren't bad bites, but if it's a real bad bite, sometimes I've heard people say that if you make a high, sharp whelp, kind of like a puppy, that it shows that you're submitting to the dog and the dog might not be quite so aggressive. But basically, it's just trying to protect yourself as best you can. If you need more information on once a dog is latched onto you, you might could Google some more information on that. But if it gets to that point, just try to protect yourself and just get away from the dog as best you can. And hopefully, the owner might be there to try to help get the dog off of you. Another thing is, and I know a lot of other nurses in my company have done this before. I really don't, but they'll carry dog treats with them. And if the dog becomes, a little over aggressive or whatever, sometimes dog treats will help. Of course, getting permission from the dog owner before you do this is for sure. Um, I found that it's just really too much hassle for me, and I don't do it. But I know other people do it, and it has worked out for them. Um, and then some final thoughts is, this is just touching upon my experience. I've been doing this for 11 years, and I've only been bitten 3 times. Only one time did it break a little of the skin. Um, but it healed up nice. And so I think for the majority of the time, if you just have some good common sense, follow your gut, talk with the homeowner, um, I think that for the most part, it hasn't been too bad. Um, if you gotten this far, I appreciate your sticking with me. And if you have any thoughts or comments, I certainly don't know everything, but I'm certainly willing to put out there what I know to try to help folks out that are just learning and needing a little more information on this. Um, Comment, like, subscribe, whatever they all say about the channel, because I am trying to, get this channel out, and by liking and subscribing, it does help the algorithm see that, that these videos are providing good value to people, and that's my goal. I'm really just trying to provide each person that comes to uh, visit with the channel here, provide them with the best value that I possibly can. And I really appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next one.